Hi there, today we're going to talk about a good topic, something that I believe people want to know about, and that is the LG Aristo battery life. So, let's get into this review. Right when I started this recording, I had a thought that came to mind about how the battery life in this thing is pretty good because if you really need to, you can take out the case, take off the back, and you have a removable battery, so you can just replace the battery, which is a great idea. So if you really want to have 100% again, all you need to do is carry around a second battery with you. Unlike really expensive phones now, the $800, $900 phones where you can't do that, you have just the battery life that is selected on their end. That's it. There's no other battery. So you can't just go and pop out the battery. But the nice thing is the battery life on this thing. So I go into battery and power saving, and if you see it here, you see it says 21% discharging, has 1 hour and 48 minutes remaining. So I click on battery usage. It says 7 hours and 14 minutes usage on battery. And then with the screen on time, I got so far 5 hours, 42 minutes, and 19 seconds. I mean, it's not the best, but it's great for the battery life. Then I played a game. I watched apparently only 37 minutes of YouTube. I watched a lot more than 37 minutes worth of YouTube for sure. Then the nice thing about this, since it has that amount of battery life, this power save mode right at the bottom here, I've had two LGs before, two of them, and with that, the battery life on those two LGs were excellent. That was the main reason why I took them. And the part that really was the best was the battery saver, because you turn the battery saver on. I had my original LG. I had one situation where this happened where I actually used the battery saver for a long time. So I was in a car. We were jamming out some music. This was three years ago, if I can remember correctly, or no, three 4 or 5 years ago this happened, and we were just jamming out to music. Then we were gonna go bowling, and I was just like, "Hey, my phone's almost dead." So I'm like, "Can I plug it in?" My friend's like, "Sure, you can plug it into my car while we're driving up." So I plugged it in, and we got to the bowling alley. My phone went from 3 to 7%. And I was like, okay. So I unplugged it. The battery saver turned on because it turns on automatically at 15%. And I'm just like, okay, let's see. I'm very particular when it comes to bowling about using phones unless I get a text message from someone. Like, I don't do anything on it besides text messages. And that night, I didn't get any text messages. I didn't get anything. Well, because I was with my friends anyway, so, I mean, well, how would I get a text message if my friends were with me? So I bowled for maybe an hour or two, and I looked back at my phone. It said 7%. And I mean, I personally didn't touch it, but I've used phones where if the battery saver's on and the phone is at 7%, I would look back at it an hour later and the phone would be at 3%. So it would go down significantly, like the battery saver wouldn't even work. So I was just like, oh, oh my god, this phone is really good on battery. Now, the phone didn't have high battery capacity at all. I think it was just like 2100 milliamp hours. And the battery, surprisingly for the time, it was a decent sized battery, but the battery saver really helped. Then I went over to, for a week, I went over to the LG Leon from the LG well, I did a little challenge a while back. I went from the LG Optimus L70 over to the LG Leon. That was that was really the second LG phone that I've used where I've had the battery issues. Because I used the LG Stylo, the battery was great. I've had no issues. Then the LG Leon, I had an issue with the battery once on me again, and I used it. The battery saver was great. It worked perfectly. Did the same type of thing. Then I went to this phone, and it's even better. I was on 15% battery life. The power saver turned on. I went. It says, get more life add for battery. Features such as brightness and vibration are reduced or disabled. Apps may be restricted in the background and for notifications, downloading, and streaming. When your phone is charging, battery saver will disable itself and turn itself back on once it gets back to 15%. But when it basically turns itself off, everything turns back to normal. But I mean, this phone, it was at 15%. This was yesterday. The phone was at 15%. And I didn't care to plug it in. I wanted to see how it actually turned out because I was doing a battery test. And I looked back after a class which was an hour and 40 minutes, I believe, or so after I was done using it. And what happened? Well, mind you, I got one call in the middle that I just picked up the phone, pressed the side button to ignore it, and I just put it down again. But other than that call that went through, personally, it was at 15% when I got out of class an hour and I don't even think it was an hour and 40. I think it was from 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 2 hours and 2 hours and 30 minutes. The phone didn't go down. Now, when I picked it back up after that 2 hour and 30 minute mark, I picked it back up. I just looked at the notification bar for a second. I looked at it. I'm just like 15%. Then it just went down to 14. But I was just like 2 hours and 30 minutes after. So I feel that if you really want to get a full day, if you find out a way to change it, that the battery saver, you can do it right here at the top of this thing. You can do it. Let's say your battery saver is on at 15%. So let's say you use 15. You usually get home by the time your phone's at 15%. So you can turn that part off, or you can do it at 5% battery, or you can do it immediately. So if I do it immediately, my phone automatically reduces and everything, so I don't have to worry. It's really the best. Like let's say you're at 100%, but you're not going to be using your phone all day, and you don't have any apps on here or anything. You just use it normally, but you want to be able to be at 100% later on during the day, or even still in the top 90s, and you're on. Well, that the battery saver function on it works. So, without further ado, my rating for the battery, 100%. Yes, thumbs up. I like it. And that's really it. So the battery is great. The battery lasts. It's up to 21% battery, and I've been using it a lot. I watched a ton of videos on YouTube and stuff, and you know what? Get out of here. Battery saving. Battery usage. Usage on battery, 7 hours and 22 minutes with watching YouTube. And I would recommend this if you want a good battery life. So, if you did like this video, please rate, comment, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.